Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Healing from Within with me, your host, Keryn Rose, and another very special guest. I have managed to get a gorgeous lady called Leah Steele to say, yes, I'll come and chat with you, Keryn. Leah is the amazing angel behind 444 Media that actually hosts this podcast. And so, Leah, thank you for being here, honey.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here.
Look, I'm actually getting very excited about hearing other people's thoughts on what healing from within means. I know what it means to me, and as you know, it was a strong impetus to share my thoughts with everybody else out there that's listening to go, okay, what does it mean to you? What do you need to do to engage with this ability that we all have? So for you, what does the term healing from within mean, and how do you incorporate it into your gorgeous life?
Yeah, well, I obviously love the term. And when we were, going back and forth and chatting about the name of your podcast, it was just like so obvious that that is what it should be, right? So I love actually being here and being able to chat about this and my feelings about it. And yeah, I mean, I think that, I have been of a very strong belief for a long time that healing is an inside job. Of
I
course, it's
love the way you put
amazing.
that. Yeah, it's an inside job. Love it.
So of course, like if, you've been following me for a long time and I'm all about the hacks and I want to get to the destination as quickly as possible. And so, of course, it's amazing to be able to find incredible people in our lives that, whether they're healers or energy workers or coaches or therapists or mentors that can help us facilitate our own healing, that can be guides in that process or in that journey. But ultimately, as a healer and as an energy worker, I am always of the belief that I am only here to help somebody else facilitate their own healing, that really, truly, we are our own inner healers. We are our own inner physicians. Sometimes we need help like shining the light on our own beautiful capabilities within that context. But yeah, I think that the most important thing that we can really do is empower ourselves to be that for ourselves, to be our own healers, to be our own energy workers. So that healing from within is just, I think, such a big part of, my personal philosophy on how I move through my life. In everything, I think it's self-responsibility, self-accountability. And so healing, I don't think should be any different. Unfortunately, I do think that we see a lot of outsourcing of healing. And as a result of that, I think we see a lot of people caught in a process of continual forever healing because they're not empowered enough to understand and really truly know how powerful they are in that process.
So you've just made a comment that has stimulated a question. And hey, I was born asking questions. For you, what is the difference between reaching out to somebody else to maybe guide you, maybe mentor you, versus reaching out to appreciate somebody's gifts to actually help you because there is a physical need? How do you differentiate the two?
Well, I think for me, I will always look internally first. So I actually really believe that we have the ability to heal anything that needs healing, repair anything that needs repairing ourselves. Like I really truly believe that each and every one of us has that power within us. When we are operating in the highest expression of who we came here to be, if we are fully embodied in our connection with the divine and embodied in our knowing of that ability, I believe that there is nothing that we can't heal that ails us from a physical, spiritual, psychological perspective. Now, having said that, obviously, we get to places in our lives where we're not capable of holding that space for ourselves. We're not capable of facilitating that growth and that change for ourselves because of whatever may have been going on in our lives. And so that's the place where I think, it can be incredibly helpful to find somebody to activate that remembrance in you of how powerful you are. And, and then I think also going back to kind of what I talked about the hacks, right? Like, I know I can do it all myself, but, something may take me 4, 5, 6 years that if I find somebody who's an expert in that field with their help and with a co-creation or a collaboration with that person, I may be able to achieve those results in 4 or 5 months. Now, for me, because I believe that my time is incredibly valuable, like, of course, if I could do something in 4 and 5 months that would have taken me on my own 4 to 5 years, I'm going to do that. Right. So that's, I choose to engage people in my life for healing purposes for that reason. And also, I think sometimes, we just know that we're not in a place to facilitate alone our own healing, that we need the support of somebody else.
It's interesting. As you were just saying that, I had a vision of a young tree suddenly being staked. It's been in a stormy situation and it has challenged its ability, and it simply wants some support, simply wants some help. And that idea of, no man is an island. It's that, and I love the way that you use the word co-creation. I don't feel we're here to do everything on our own because we are human, and that we learn from other people. It's just what happens, particularly if we're open to it. And that realization. Look, I would love to ask you, how important is environment to you in supporting your ability with your own healing process?
Yeah, I think, for me, environment is so important and has always been really, really incredibly important. So much so that I think that finding myself a year ago in an environment where I was really unhappy, I actually got mold toxicity. And I don't know that I would have, that would have happened if the environment I hadn't struggled so much with the environment. So I think that, we create and manifest things based on the areas of our lives that we need to thrive that perhaps we aren't thriving in. And so, yeah, environment for me is such a huge part of me being able to feel like I can do really anything in my life, like whether it's working or parenting or healing or living. Yeah, that factor is, really, really vital for me.
I would love to know, people need actions. We know that it's the intention plus the action that equals the magic. So given your strong belief in this ability within you to heal, what do you do each and every day to stay connected with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, routine is so incredibly important. And I know, just through trial and error in 47 years, like, what I need to do and how I need to set myself up to really, truly be able to make the most of my connection to God, my connection to source, my connection to the highest version of myself that I believe provides all the answers, right? So for me, my morning routines are incredibly important. The reading, the journaling, the centering, and then my physical non-negotiables as well when it comes to nutrition and my diet and working out, going to the gym, all of that.
Okay, I'm going to throw you maybe a curveball here. Is there anything that you do at the end of your day to reconnect yourself with your healing ability and drawing that line in the sand between your day and that preciousness of the space you're about to move into?
Well, I think that that's actually probably my weakest point, is my ending my day. And so it's actually the place that I'm working on right now. I'm really trying to shift out of, or not out of, I'm trying to shift into, I will reframe that, into, shutting down electronics for at a minimum of an hour before bed, looking to really start incorporating evening red light therapy in my life, and kind of removing all of the technology distractions that I think really negatively impact that rest and rejuvenation and sleep period, which, as we know, is so incredibly important in the healing process, whether we're talking about physical, mental, spiritual, like that period of time where we're actually resting and sleeping at night is so needed and so incredibly important. So I am really working on right now better. I've got the morning routine is down. Like I've got that. And my day of bringing myself back into the place that I need to be throughout the day, I'm actually quite good at that as well. Like where I'm struggling, where I'm not as good, is in that evening routine. So I actually appreciate you asking that, because that's my work right now that I'm doing.
I feel that would probably be the majority of the people that walk the earth. There's a focus on how you start your day, and then the new day comes, how are you starting your day? And it's like we're collecting all this dirt every day and continuing to pile it on because we're not cleaning at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
what would be your number one takeaway that you can give to all of our gorgeous listeners to draw that, but as I like to say, that proverbial line in the sand at the end of the day? What would you suggest for someone to simply try? That's all that we can suggest people to do. Obviously, these processes, this ability to stay connected is unique. It is unique. However, we don't know what's going to work unless we give it a go. And it either, gets a tick, or no, I need to, and you've always been about making it your own. So what would be one thing that you would suggest?
I think that really the shutting down of technology, and if at all possible, removing it from the space that you're sleeping in, is, there's so much research and so much science around it right now as well. Turning off your Wi-Fi router if you have the ability to
Do so.
while you're sleeping in the evening, charging the phone and the computer outside of the bedroom, putting the phone in airplane mode while you're sleeping, so that you're just limiting that technological input. And I think, also there's a lot of research right now around sleeping in, not having light in the space that you're sleeping in, not having artificial light. So, either having that be red light or no light at all. And I think that, I'm doing a fair amount of research on all of this stuff right now as I'm implementing it into my own life. And so, from everything that I can see, like those are some really simple things that you can do that actually increase so many things: quality of life, quality of sleep, longevity, sex hormone regulation, definitely like really regulates progesterone and estrogen and testosterone. So I think that those are some things I think that are really, really important.
It's exciting how what you are talking about is reinforcing this fact that not only is everything energy, but everything is connected. And something as simple as turn all of that technology off. And if you can, the Wi-Fi, you can say, well, what that's going to do? Be patient and watch the magic happen. I mean, as a mother of, don't tell Jack, but a relatively young child, how are you implementing for him this process? Do you?
Well, he's a little bit harder, because he is really, really attached to devices, and he's been unschooled up until this point. He is now in school. But it's a challenge. And I think it is definitely a challenge with this younger generation, because they're living such a different life than we lived. And so I haven't been very successful at getting him off in the evenings, but regulating electronics and device time throughout the day and making sure that, he's really getting out and having actual playtime, device-free playtime, which he is quite good at doing, and getting the physical exercise and getting the time outside in the sun during the day. So I'm working more, I think, on implementing. It's interesting, right? Because it's like with us, with older generations, we didn't grow up on devices. We didn't grow up so ingrained in the world of technology. And so for us, it wasn't a find balance within the technology. It was, we added the technology into our lives. Whereas with him, it's like, I'm more focused on how many hours did he spend outside in the sun, like getting that direct sunlight in his eyes, how much time did he get playing? How much quality time did he get off the devices? How much time did he spend actually reading a physical book, versus reading something online or watching a video on something? Because even in the schools, they're using technology so much in the learning process. So I think with him, that's more of my focus is where are the times and the spaces that I can find to reinforce nature experience and play, reinforce imagination time that doesn't include electronics or devices.
It's really a management, isn't it? It's a management of him and what is going on, and showing him how to find some harmony in his life. Because as you say, yes, he's growing up in a world that you didn't grow up in, and I certainly didn't grow up in either. And it's not go without, it's finding that point of harmony that's going to work for him, activating his ability to heal from within. And I don't think it's any coincidence that the increase in neuroscience at this point in time and the information that is coming out is literally taking off in a world that is just run by the digital. It just is. And it's finding our way as a human to live in this energy.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's exciting times. Look, Leah, thank you. Thank you. I've so loved talking with you. And maybe next time we get on, we talk about the issues that are going on within the brain, because the reality is, as a human, we are evolving. The energy of the world, Mother Nature is who she is. We are developing this digital world, which, let's be honest, is simply energy in another form. And it's really an energy that we don't appreciate the power of. And we haven't been living with it long enough, I believe, to really understand the impact on the physical body as the physical body ages. I've loved the fact you've been into biohacking. You always have from the moment I've known you. And I feel it's going to be, more exciting. Watch this space. We know there are instruments, in inverted commas, being created to support, and really, we are here to support that humanness in its ability to live in this world that we're in. And I appreciate very much the work that you do.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time. I've really loved it. And I'll be cheeky and say maybe we can do it again one day.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, cool. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me. And as I love to say, everyone, until we meet again.
May your day be full of the magic that is you, wherever you may be. Everything in this world is energy, and that includes you. Remember, you are the most important person in your world, and you came into this life with all the tools you will ever need to support your healing from within. Let the healing begin.